I'm going to show you how to use Wise Owl chalk synthesis paint on this chest of drawers. We've scuff sanded it. The top has been sanded back fully because we're going to varnish the top, but the rest of it has been scuff sanded with a light sand. It doesn't have to be sanded all the way back. Now I'm just going to add some frog tape, some masking tape, just at the end of the dovetails to get a nice clean straight line with the paint. So secure that down well, and then do both sides, and then that'll be ready for painting. Use a damp lint free cloth and remove all the dust particles from where you've sanded, and that will give you a nice clean finish to start painting. We're going to use a colour, there's some of the sediment that's come off there. We're going to use a colour called Graphite Slate. You want to mix the paint with a stirring stick, and that will mix all the properties of the paint together nicely, so you get a good finish. So once you've stirred that, you should be ready to paint. So make sure you dip in your paintbrush. I'm not using the best paintbrush here, to be fair, so it'll just show you how quick and easy it goes on, but only just use a third of your paintbrush when you dip it into the paint, and then just start in the middle and move backwards and forwards, and make sure you get into all the nooks and crannies. Look how easy it's covering. This is just one coat. We haven't even used a primer on this. And if you're using a dark colour, then you shouldn't need to use a primer unless you know that your wood is going to bleed, in which case if it bleeds like mahogany, then I'd suggest you use a stain eliminating primer, and that will block out any bleed and give you a nice smooth surface to paint. I'm not using it on this purely because I didn't feel like I needed to on this occasion. So just keep going until you've finished each drawer. So this has had 2 coats of the chalk synthesis paint and it's dried thoroughly. We're going to use a varnish called Polyvine, which is we've chosen the dead flat finish as opposed to the Wise Owl in this instance, because Wise Owl's matte finish has a slight luster, and our customer wanted a really dead flat finish, so that's why I'm going with that. And you have to be brave, I think, to have a very flat finish, but there we go. So make sure you apply every area. I'm using a washing up sponge here, and I've decanted the varnish, which I've put into a container, and then I've stirred it with a stick. Don't shake the bottle, stir it. This will get all the properties mixed in nicely, otherwise you'll end up with bubbles and then you'll struggle to apply your varnish. Here it is dried before we put the handles on and take it back to the customer, and now you can see it in their home with the handles on. I hope you've enjoyed watching how to apply chalk synthesis paint made by Wise Owl